So you're probably wondering, now I've moved from Notion into Evernote as a personal tool, how am I still using Notion for work? Now, I can imagine a lot of you guys have some questions about how that operates. I wanted to give you an idea of how that is. So in today's video, we're going to dive into how I use Notion for work. So before we begin today's video, this video is sponsored by Pipedrive, so you can check them out in the description below. There's also going to be a little bit of information or insight into what and how to use it later in today's video. So here we are. This is our Notion account. We use it at Keep Productive to help ourselves keep organized, more with content, sponsors, Team Wiki and things like that. So it's quite useful for that in terms of being able to keep coordinated. There are three folks that use the account. The first is myself, the second is Steve, who is our fantastic editor, and Alice, who is our brilliant blog writer. So the main reason I use Notion above the others is probably because it is flexible. It's got great views that allow you to change the way that each of your team members use it. I really just obviously still in love with it. As you can see here, this is our articles area. Our articles area is a very simple table, but as you can see here, this is managed by Alice. And you can see that she writes the pieces. I brief her inside of these documents, very simple briefs and information that she needs to know to write the article. And as you can see, we've got all the sort of relevant metadata along with it, like release date, who's writing it, the draft, the to check, to schedule process. And what's great as well is when I press to schedule, it disappears because we've got a really nice filter set up. So as you can see, not too complicated. And what I really like about it is it helps keep us clear on what's coming up. If I need to write a new brief, I'll press this new button down here. And we did have an old sort of editorial calendar. It was similar to some extent, but it was just a bit messier. And you can see that here all the legacy articles. it just wasn't as sort of structured as we had before. So we've adapted this every 3 months or so. That helps us to sort of keep on track with it. But this helps us to keep organized with that for sure, and helps me to keep Alice briefed and her to continue writing articles. So going back to the homepage, this is a really simple layout homepage. It's meant to be sort of where even if somebody was new, they could come in, understand what's going on. That's, I think, what some of the best templates are about, is ones that are simple and that keep a really good order to everything. So the other thing we use is, most recently, I'm working quite closely with Steve on the editing side of stuff. I do edits, he does edits, but as you can imagine, what keeps him organized is this one here, is this timeline view actually, where you can see, like, for example, last week he has these tasks to do on the day, and it's quite nice because he can sort of generally see a week in advance, which is quite helpful. Like, for example, today he's working on the agenda course, then he's working on some portrait content, but he can actually go sort of a bit deeper with these and get an idea, for example, what's coming up. I'm trying to plan more of a week in advance. I've never worked with Zumba before, so as you can imagine, I'm starting to sort of move to planning in advance. But this timeline, he said he seems to be getting on with it quite well, and I like that you can go sort of bi-weekly, hourly and stuff like this if you want to go proper granular. So the video side of stuff is probably something that we've been using for the longest period of time. So for example, let's go back to last month. You can see here, these are all the videos we're creating on the channel. But if you open them up, you can see that they don't necessarily always have scripts, but they have the location it's going to be. So in this case, we started Keep Focus, so it's like that location, the type of content, the status, and we're using some of the customized page settings to make sure that drops away because we don't commonly use these. We connect them up to the sponsor. So this is a relational database that we have coming up, and it just helps us to keep planned on what sponsors we're working with on that specific video. So in this case, you can see, Pipedrive sponsor, and in this case with this Notion tool, we have it here, but we don't actually have a script for this one. It's just me rambling. So as you can imagine, that's how we're using the videos. But I have a fair amount of different views over the times. As you can see, I've used a lot of this to demonstrate things, but for example, Keep Focused is all of the Keep Focused videos. You can see it in timeline view if you want to, but as you can see, it's quite messy in my opinion. So I don't keep it in timeline view because it doesn't have much order. You could use the filters to really narrow down, but I just keep it on this live view, just to have an idea of what is next for the channel. and I love moving them about. That's one of the best things about the calendar view for us. So if I go over to Team Wiki, this is really for planning holidays, time off, brand information, like useful brand logos and things like that, that people can use. And we're going to update it with like text and things like that. And also, like, I tend to write documents here like revenue streams, community, courses that we're planning as well. So in this case, you know, you can see like an outline of the course. It is dead simple. It's nothing too advanced, but hopefully when team members join, they can sort of get an idea for what we're sort of planning. The same goes to sponsors as well. For example, this one, like, we've done one video for that, but it gives you an idea of the videos that are going to be connected to that sponsor, because we've got that relational database and goes backwards, so you can see the relation on here as well. We also used to connect it to podcasts, but we don't do too many podcasts here. And here you can see we also plan in advance as well, so contract agreements, what stage we are with planning those sponsors. Vice versa with affiliates, this is just handy to be able to see the links that Alice or Steve might want to use inside of a video. Public is an area where I just create like publicly facing accounts or pages, where I can actually just share out a little bit more detail. And you're probably wondering what's private down here. This is just stuff that, say, doesn't need to be shown in front of the team, or is just stuff, for example, that are rambling or notes. Very unorganized, but also a helpful place, so they don't necessarily belong there yet, but they may transfer over very soon. So for example, I know this one could probably transfer over soon. And as you can see, I can change it to make it accessible to other team members. So all in all, we keep our Notion pretty simple. The team just uses it as a sort of viewing angle versus necessarily doing the work in it. Helps us to plan, helps us to organize, but it's very MVP Notion. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you're a team looking to set things up, there's so much more you can do. You can have your HR department in here. You could have sort of a lot more projects and tasks. But as you can see, very simple, very plain, but very helpful for what we do. So folks, a big thank you. Hopefully this video was useful. If you want to subscribe, it'd be great to have you. But I just want to share a little bit more about Pipedrive before we go. So I'll see you later. And here's a little bit more about Pipedrive. So folks, it is great to have Pipedrive back as a sponsor here on Keep Productive. If you don't know what Pipedrive is, it's a powerful sales CRM software. Now, since we last showed them off, they've actually released a new part of Pipedrive. It's called Lead Suite, and it's a fully GDPR compliant way to get more leads before they drift elsewhere. It's a set of features that are available to add to any Pipedrive CRM subscription. So they include a chatbot for automatically engaging with your web visitors 24/7, live chat, which basically adds a human touch, allowing you to take over conversations from the chatbot anywhere at any time, web forms to help you create really attractive ways to capture useful information, as well as Prospector for finding your next business opportunity from a global database of 400 million profiles. Now, what's really cool with Prospector is you can build a persona of your target customers and use your credits to reveal high quality leads generated based on that ideal customer. You have also got Leads Inbox, a perfect way to manage all your leads in one central location, with all of the lovely features included like chat integrations, labels, filters, and activities that you know and love inside of Pipedrive already. Now, if you want to try out Lead Suite, we've got an extended free trial of 30 days. It's normally 14 and 25% off your first 3 months. You can find a link in the description. Thanks again to Pipedrive for coming on to Keep Productive, and we really hope you enjoy this feature spotlight.